Hello everyone, my name is CD, and welcome to the first playthrough of 2025. We are going to be playing Metroid, released in 1986 for Nintendo Entertainment System. I've been a fan of Metroid for quite a few years now. My first discovery of Metroid was probably through the box art of Metroid Prime for Nintendo GameCube a long time ago. I think I went into Sam's Club one time and I saw it in a display case. I knew I couldn't play the game though because it was rated T for teen, and that was considered a taboo rating in the household I grew up in. I could only play E-rated games when I was younger. But the first time I discovered Samus was through Super Smash Bros. Melee, and then Brawl right after that, and I figured, you know what, this series is kind of interesting, and I thought, you know what, I think I'll give the first game a try. I think I got Metroid on the Game Boy Advance. It was the NES port of it was a part of Nintendo's NES Classic lineup that they released back in the mid-2000s for the Game Boy Advance. And that was the first time I played the original Metroid. And then I played the game on Virtual Console. And I didn't really beat the game at first. I got a few minutes in, and then after a little while I just stopped playing it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We have an emergency order from the Galactic Federal Police to eradicate the Metroids on Planet Zebes. And here we are on Planet Zebes. We are in the first location of the planet, known as Brinstar. And we're just going to head to the right and start our adventure. We are taking control as the bounty hunter, our main character, Samus Aran. And Samus is equipped with a power suit, which comes with its own arm cannon. But for right now, one thing I will say about the power suit is that the suit can be upgraded to have more abilities. For right now, we do not have an ability that allows us to go through tight spaces. So the only thing we can do now is go back and see if there's an item that we can find that allows us to do that. Samus' power suit comes equipped with an arm cannon. And the arm cannon has a beam that's, it's alright. It's not the strongest weapon in the game, but it can help out a little bit, at least for right now. So here's our first item. This is the Marumari, also known as the Morphing Ball, which, as you can tell, allows Samus to morph into a ball. So now we can really start our adventure. These enemies are called Zoomers. They like to travel across the ground, the walls, and the ceilings. Speaking of ceilings, these enemies are called Screes. They hang from the ceilings and they like to fall down and drill themselves into the ground. Though the game makes it look like they explode rather than drilling themselves into the ground. That item I just picked up is an energy ball that restores our energy. And one thing about this game is that when you start the game, you only start off with 30 HP, unfortunately. For right now, we can only get up to 99 HP, but for some reason, they only start you off with 30. And that's one of the dumbest things about this game. The other Metroid games do not do that. It's just this game, unfortunately. And if you get a game over, you start at 30 again. So right now we're just going through these hallways. the game is split up into two different hallways. You've got the horizontal halls or horizontal caves, because Planet Zebes is more of a cave planet, a cavernous planet. You've got the horizontal caves, like this one. And by the way, this is called a Rio. They like to hang from the ceiling and then fly down and then fly back up. These enemies, these bee-like enemies, are called... one second. These enemies are called Zebes. I didn't pick up those energy pickups yet. I mean, because I just left them there so that the Zebes wouldn't keep flying out. If there's an item there that pops up from a Zeb that you kill, another Zeb will not spawn out. What I just picked up was a missile tank. Each missile tank that you pick up is 5 missiles worth. And I'm getting ambushed. Missiles are the most powerful, offensive weapon that you can have. Unfortunately, since we only have 5 missiles right now, until we collect more missile tanks, which there's gonna be a lot of them, we have to use... Oops. Got a game over. I was gonna say you have to use missiles sparingly until you get more. What you just saw was the password screen. After you get a game over, you get introduced to the password screen, and there is a 24 character password screen. Each password is 24 characters long. Just did a jump cut right there. And we're back in this hallway. That game over was actually gave me a pretty good advantage. It helped me to get to this hallway faster. In hallways like these, when you hear this this music track, you're usually in a place that takes you either to another location or it takes you to an item. And the first item we're gonna get, first we have to destroy this red door, which requires 5 missiles, unfortunately. And we have acquired the long beam. A lot of the key items in the game are located in different rooms like this, and they're being held by statues. And when the statue is holding an item, it's usually covered up in some sort of chroming or some kind of dust, and you have to shoot it first in order to reveal what the item is, and then you can collect what the item is. So now that we have our second item, third item, I'm gonna try and the missiles are separate from a lot of the items that you collect for the first and only time. Missiles are a recurring item that you collect. There's another item that's also a reoccurring item, which is an energy tank, which increases our energy. These enemies are called waivers, and I'm pretty sure you can tell why, because they like to wave upwards and downwards. That yellow liquid is acid, and when you fall into the acid, you do take damage. This game doesn't have bottomless pits, so it puts acid at the bottom of every single area in the depths of the caves, so that when you fall in it, you have an opportunity to save yourself, but you will take damage in the process. If you stay in there way too long, you will eventually lose all your health and die. So the acid is essentially a hazardous liquid that acts as a replacement for a bottomless pit, because this game does not have any of those. This game tries to change the I can't even think of the word. They try to change the environment a little bit so that there can be some sort of distinction from where you are, because a lot of the level design is very copy and paste. Like one of these one of these vertical hallways. Here we are in another item room. And this item room is a good example of that copy and paste thing I was talking about. That guy takes a lot of hits. There are different color variations of certain enemies, and depending on which color variation depends on how durable they are. For example, these orange zoomers only take about 2 hits, and then the red ones take about 4 hits. So depending on which color variation depends on how much one takes regular damage and the other one takes double that damage. And we just acquired our next item, which is the bomb. What you do is morph into a ball, and you can drop a bomb. This is great for killing the zoomers and a lot of other enemies that are shorter than Samus, that are too short for Samus to aim at. If you noticed earlier, I was trying to farm for missiles. That's a weird thing that can happen in the game. That's a very specific thing that could happen. You could shoot a door while a zoomer is on it, and you shoot the door and it goes away. The zoomer doesn't know how to react because they are designed to be on something, like be on some sort of surface. And if they're not on a surface, they just spin around like that, and they don't know where they're supposed to go. Because they forgot to program them to fall on a surface instead of just spinning around like that. It's pretty funny. One of those 8-bit video game sort of things, I guess. One thing I will say about falling in acid or any sort of hazardous liquid this game has is that it does affect your jump. That's another thing I'll talk about, the jumps. The jumping in this game. Samus has 2 different jumps. You can... so what I'm doing here is trying to find a secret block that you can go through. That's another thing that the bomb reveals. The bomb does. You can lay a bomb on a hidden block, and it will reveal a space that you can go through. These smaller enemies are called mellows, and out of all the enemies in the game, they've probably got the worst programming ever. Like, they don't even look right. It doesn't look like they should be doing that, but they do that. They don't even drop any items, and when you shoot them, they just disappear. And sometimes they go through different areas with you for somehow. Like, I don't know. Their programming is weird. There you go. I was trying to farm for missiles once again so I can get this item. And we've got the ice beam. Now the ice beam... Well, let me take out these guys. Actually, no, I'm just gonna jump over them. So, what the ice beam does is you shoot an enemy, and it freezes them in an instant. Shoot them again, and they turn back to normal. That counts as 1 hit. Freezing an enemy does not count as a hit. Oh boy, we've got a problem here. So what I'm trying to do is get myself out of there. I had to take intentional damage from that block to reappear in order to get out of there. That's what speedrunners would call damage boosting. And that's unfortunately something that I had to do. But getting back to the ice beam, you shoot an enemy and it freezes it in place. You can use the enemy as a platform if you wanted to. But you have to shoot it twice as much. You have to shoot an enemy as twice as much in order to do any actual damage to it, unfortunately. That being said, I don't like how the ice beam works in this game, and I'm glad they fixed that in future titles. So we're getting close to the end of this video. We're about to head into another area in the game for a temporary amount of time. And this place is loaded with enemies. This particular cave is loaded with them. You've got a bunch of screes and zebs, zoomers. Well, zoomers are least of the problems. They're like the Goombas of Metroid. So the ice beam is really good for freezing zebs in place, so that none of the other families can get out. One air hole at a time can let out a zoomer. Like only one zeb at a time can come out of an air hole. But anyway, that's gonna be the end of this video. In next video, we're gonna be going to another area in the game. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed day.